Hi and welcome to Distilling in Australia. My name is Nick. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what I take and why I take certain items to the markets, because we're now doing the markets full time in Surfers Paradise on Wednesday, Friday and Saturday nights. So I'm just going to run through all the things that I take with me, so you get a bit of an idea if you decide that you want to go and do the markets, the sort of things that you might, and not in all cases you'll need all these things, but in Surfers Paradise, because we are right on the beachfront, there are certain things, extra things that we do need to take, but things that you might need to take. So I have a trolley down here that I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to go through everything that I do and put on the trolley, so you can see how I do it. And again, you learn from my mistakes. You may have a better way, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. That way you can see, a real life distiller, the back end of what it's really like in the distilling and selling of your product. So let's get on with it. So this is the trolley. I made it out of plywood. It's got 8 wheels on it. The 2 wheels at the back are non-swivel wheels, and the other wheels in the center and the front are swivel wheels. The trolley, or the sled as I call it, weighs about 26 kilos, just empty. Okay, so important to keep an eye on what goes on. So the first thing that I put on the trolley are the weights. Now, these are tent weights, and they are used to hold the tent down in high winds. Now, because I go to the Surfers Paradise markets, we have to have 120 kilograms of weights. So I'll load them on first. All right, so there's your 120 kilograms of weights. Now the next thing that I put on is the marquee. Now, I'm sure you've seen pictures of the marquee, but if you haven't, this is what it looks like. Now, I have a sign here, so I'm sure you've seen the neon sign, but here it is, the neon sign. So I need a battery and inverter to run that. So I have a 12 volt anti-amp hour, 80 amp hour battery, and an inverter, 2000 watt inverter. So that sits at the back here. The next thing I load is stock. Now, I haven't got much stock at the moment, so we're just going to pretend that we're loading stock. So I usually have 3 or 4 boxes of stock that I take. Oops, he says tripping over. So just for the sake of this exercise, we'll call that three boxes of stock. So it's about 45 bottles I take to the markets. After that are the sides for the tent. So each one of these is a side for the tent. I have a ground sheet here, and I also have a plastic cover here, and that is to cover this if it happens to be raining. Okay, and also I have 2 tablecloths that I use to put over the tables. So they go on here, on there as well. I have a bag that has all the change in it. So I just carry that. That has change, $5, $2 coins, that sort of stuff, $10 notes. That's just to make sure that I've got change for those people who choose to pay cash. In this box I also have my paperwork. So this is my license, my manufacturer's license, my liquor license, my own personal responsible service of management. So all the sort of documentation. I have signs that I stick on the table, basically just to comply with my requirements, you know, responsible service, it's illegal to supply liquor to intoxicated persons. The other thing I have here is cable ties. So these cable ties are invaluable. They're very, very handy. I use them to attach the lights. Then we have tasting cups. Now, I use a 50 ml tasting cup, and I do that because I also have a rubbish bin, because you've got to be self-sufficient, and all the tasting cups go in here. Now what I do is, after the markets, I actually go into the rubbish, because I've got to bring it away from site, and count how many of these that I have used and how many sales I've done. So it gives me an idea of ratios to tasting to ratios. And I'll be honest, I'm allowed to do a 15 ml test for the customers, but in reality it's about 5 mils. Okay, I find that that's all they need, 5 mils and some mixer, and that's enough, is what they need. Okay, so that's what's in this particular box. And in the box underneath it, I have my FTOS swipe machine, a back brace because, well, I'm old, tissues, I have bags to put the stock in because people like to have something to carry around, a spare t-shirt in case something happens to whatever I'm wearing. So that's in that box there. So in this box, I have the lights. So these lights get attached to the tent. So that's what they look like. They get attached to the top of the tent, and I turn them on, that illuminates the table. I have spare tasting cups. I have some clear sticky tape and some side cutters. Okay, that's obviously to cut the cable ties at the end of the night, and tie down straps. So the tie down straps is for the trolley, so hopefully you see that. These ratchet tie down straps, that's to hold the trolley onto the roof. All right, and some hand sanitizer as well. So I have 2 of these lights, and they work very well. So with that and the sign, it illuminates my my display area really well. And I also have this esky. So I have I take 3 bottles, 1 tonic, 1 lemonade and 1 soda water. I find this is the most economical way of doing it. I put ice in the bucket and it cools down the product. So then I can then offer a mixer with the alcohol. I found that most people, although they'll say that they're happy to have it straight, they don't like it because they're not used to drinking it straight, unlike us, because we drink it straight all the time. So that's what happens with those. So they get loaded as well, and I'll fix them up in a minute. So next is 2 fold-up tables. So the larger one, which is a 6-foot table, that goes across the front, and the smaller one goes down my side. Now, when I do the display, I have my bottles out, which are just filled with water, okay? And all my stock I have behind me, which is out of reach of the general public. I do that because at surface, unfortunately, there's a lot of stealing. So if they do steal one of the display bottles, all they're stealing is a bottle of water. So that's why I do that. So one table goes here and the other table goes here. Okay, now what I'll do at this point is I will get one of my Oki straps, and I have little eyelets here. So that one goes attached to that eyelet, and that one attaches to that eyelet. So they've got one Oki strap across there. Then we add the sign. So this is the neon sign. So that gets added in there. And then we add these. Now, at Surfers Paradise, we have to have these rubber mats. There's 4 of them, and 1 rubber mat goes under each leg. So when the weights go on, the weights are sitting on that and not on the footpath, so they don't damage the footpath. So that, like that, goes in there. I do have also plastic liners, bin liners for the rubbish bins as well. Then we also have a high chair. Now, I use a high chair because it keeps me elevated and up higher, sort of more eye level with the customers. Obviously, I'm fairly old, so I'm not going to stand for 6 straight hours, or it works out to about 8 hours in total. So I do use a high chair to make it easier for me to get up and down, and also to be at the right level for the customers. The ocky straps to this one. As you can see, this is not rehearsed. And so I have eyelets on this side. Okay, so it holds that up. All right, so that's it. We're now fully packed, tied down with ocky straps. If it's raining, I pull the plastic cover out, the plastic cover will go over it, and that'll stop it. And then what I would do is take this rope and I would pull it along. All right, now, as you can probably imagine, this weighs about 260 kilograms, 240, 260 kilograms when it's fully laden. And that's heavy, especially when you're my age. So I thought, okay, what can I do to remedy this situation? So I've actually come up with a prototype of a design for what's known as a trolley mule, or what I call a trolley mule. So I'll bring that in now. This is a prototype. And I'll give you a closer look at it in a second. But I'll just run through it. So what I've done here is I have an aluminium plate that is attached to the trolley mule with a hole in it, and that is where it's a pivot point, so that's where I drive it from. Has a pin that comes up with a bolt through it to secure it. We then have the actual body of the trolley mule. Now I got 2 Makita batteries here. I got some Makita generic battery holders, and I'm running 2 18-volt Makita batteries. It's wired up to this. This is a pulse width modulator. Now obviously it's not going to be left like this. I'm going to put it in a box, and I'm going to have to add safety switches to it and a few other bits and pieces. Runs through here to a 24-volt motor. It is then chain driven onto these 2 wheels here. So this is a solid axle through here, so it drives both wheels. Now, I have tested it without the load. I haven't tested it beforehand with the load, which is the 260 kilograms. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. So you're going to witness this with me as well, and we'll see if this is going to work. So what I'll do is I will move the camera back so you've got a bit more of a broader thing, and we'll see. Now, the theory is that when you push down on the handle here, okay, it pushes up on here, which then puts pressure on the wheels here, which gives you the traction, okay? So if you lift it up, it just lifts the wheels straight off the ground, okay? But if you push it down, that's what gives you the traction to hold it, and I do that with the handle. But for the purpose of today, I just want to see if it's going to pull it. Now, flat out, this is a medium walking pace. This will go at a medium walking pace when it's flat out, because it does have a gear reduction here from the motor, and then this is a 9-tooth to a 34-tooth sprocket. So again, it has another additional reduction there. So it has a whole lot of torque, but it is designed to be at walking pace. All right. So I'll move the camera back and you can see what happens with me, because this will be a first. So we'll turn the batteries on. Okay, so the 2 batteries are on. Now there's a little pot modulator here. So I'm just going to put a bit of pressure on the wheels. There we go. Woohoo, it's doing it. Oh, excellent. Doesn't seem to be having a problem with that at all. Excellent. All right. Well, success. Now the hard bit's going to be to push it back because I don't have a reverse on it as yet, but I will have a reverse, but I'll see if I can push it back. There we go. So yeah, so there we go. So that's for Trolley Mule. Now I wanted that so as it made it easier to get to the markets, because where I have to go from the where I park to where my marketplace is probably about, I don't know, 300 metres, could be 400 metres between the 2 places. And trust me, pulling this with this rope that way 6 times a week for my age really does wear you down. So anyway, that's my setup. That's how I do it. Yeah, if you've learned something, great. But I'm really happy with the Trolley Mule. I'm going to be doing obviously more tests. I've got to go and buy some parts, more parts today, a box, and a cutout switch, a few other bits and pieces just to make sure it's safe, because obviously you don't want it going awry in a crowded marketplace. Also, I'm going to get a throttle for the handle, so as I can hold it for the handle and I can move it forward. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Happy distilling. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I know I haven't posted much lately, but I've just been busy with all sorts of things happening. And as you know, I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I just do this just to impart knowledge and let other people know the back end of what it's like to be a distiller. Ciao for now. Have a great week. Distilling alcohol is illegal in Australia unless you hold the appropriate licenses and permits. I am not a lawyer, and the contents of this video are not intended to be legal advice. Do not rely on any information contained in this video and seek your own legal professional advice before making any decisions. Be aware, the Australian Tax Office and the local law enforcement agencies will be taking interest in this channel due to its content. Please keep this in mind before posting any comments. Any comments posted are the opinion of the person posting and not of this channel. Let's get started.